Took the head off the Jeep what's it called? Grand Cherokee 2011. And this is the one where it was blowing water, blowing head gasket appears. But it was also blowing water out of this spark plug hole. So I think it has a crack somewhere in the water, and don't know how I'm gonna be able to tell that, but you see how it's all rusted up. These two cylinders were leaking into the water. I did once you do a compression test or have a line hooked to the, I had a gauge hooked to the water jacket, the radiator, and pressure would, when you crank the car, pressure would build up into the radiator. You leave a spark plug out on this one and put the gauge on this one and it'll blow water. This one wouldn't blow water, this one would. So just these two will blow compression into the water. But maybe it was the head gasket. Looks really worn out. You see all that black missing around here. But this head might have a crack because it's leaking water in that spark plug hole. So here's the engine. Kind of rusty. So hopefully this ain't cracked or something busted with it. But you see this stuff down here? That's that stuff they put in the radiator, and it was flowing out of the top of the spark plug hole, off the valve cover, and flowing down here. And I don't know how it was coming out of that plug hole, but it's got to be that the head's cracked. You just can't see it, but it's got to be cracked. So wasn't too hard to get the head off. The guy on the video, he takes this whole catalytic converter off, but I just got behind there and got the bolts. It's only 4 bolts instead of taking that whole thing loose. Did it that way. But he's got a good video showing you all that. And I bought this tool. You need this tool. There's 2 of them. This is the left and they got a right. You need this tool to lock the cam phasers. Sticks right here in between the cam phasers. You need that. And a socket to get those. Can't see that thing that goes in between these cam phasers. Locks them, and you need a socket 36 for that. Which, actually, the 36 is kind of loose. I don't know if it's 35 or 36. I thought he said 36, so I got a 36, but it seems a little loose, but it still knocked him loose. So this is the one that was leaking water in it. Had water coming out of that spark plug hole. All that stuff they put in the, see that stuff right here? That's that seal fix crap. And it was coming, I don't know how, unless the water jacket is cracked in there. I don't see no crack here, but you can see that all that rust in there, that spark plug hole. And let's see if you can see, if I can get the light down in there. All that stuff is in there. So somehow it was flowing out of here and then dripping down from the valve cover and dripping off the side of the engine. And there it is on the side of the engine there. So the head has to be cracked. There's no other way that it can come out of this spark plug hole. And it's even in the intake. It's got to be a crack in there somewhere. I just can't see it. I just don't see how it was being pushed through the threads of the spark plug. Because the spark plug, I took the spark plug out, and let me see if that one was that. I think it was this one. This is the spark plug that was in there, and that stuff was caked around. There's some right there. You see? That stuff, that's that sealer crap they put in the radiator. It was all caked around this spark plug. So how is it getting, how is it, if anybody knows, let me know. I mean, have you ever seen anything like it? How is that stuff, water, coming out of here? It's got to be a crack in there. Because see, that water jacket gets real close to the spark plug. It sort of like this, like if this is the water jacket, and the spark plug goes in between right here, and there's a thin wall, and that's the threads. So it's got to have a crack, because I don't know how else. But you look at the threads in there, the threads look pretty clean. It was just all inside. And you see how it was rusting that spark plug up. So, and this is the top O-ring thing that seals off. It goes up here, and you can see that it's flooded with all that sealer that they stuck in the radiator. So much was pumping out. It was just pumping out of here, flowing off to the side. So I'm not going to chance taking the, just putting a head gasket on it and calling it good. This whole head is just going to have to be replaced. It's got to be cracked. There's no way around it. I don't see. It's got to be cracked. But other than that, oh, the top intake. Need to get that top intake because it's all messed up. There's all that stuff in there. I'm gonna clean all this up, clean the rust off the cylinders, and hopefully this engine's not cracked somewhere else. Got pretty rusty. So, just gonna cover that back up. Well, so cam's got all rusty sitting out there, but might get a whole new head with the cams already in place. Already found one. The guy has rebuilt with cams and everything. Comes with cams, the phasers, and the whole head complete. So we might get that one. And get this piece of junk running again. And when I was taking the head, here's the head bolts. When I was taking the head bolts out, these in head bolts here were tight. I mean tight where I had to put a bar on them. These were super loose. So either the head got so hot that it stretched them, or something else. Maybe the guy that, see, this was a replacement head. Maybe he didn't put the bolts in there right. Didn't clean. You got to clean the inside of the thread jacket real good. Make sure there's no oil in there before you put the bolts in. I don't know if he did that correctly or they weren't torqued right, but all the middle ones were loose. And let's see. Yeah, I'll clean that up, so I can't show you anything there. But yeah, wasn't that hard to get the head off. Just watch that guy's video and took it all off real quick. So we're gonna see, get a new head. I already got the head bolts. Just need the head. I got the head gasket. We're hoping it was just gonna be the head gasket, but I'm thinking now that since that stuff is coming out of the spark plug hole, I don't see other way that it could come out of here unless the head is cracked. It sure did get rusty up. All right, I'm gonna wrap this one up here.